myself, this year, will I be increasing my rents on my tenants? The answer to that is BC has set its increases for residential real estate rentals to a maximum increase this next year of 2026 to 2.3%. And that is down from last year's 3%. And this new allowable increase, if you listen to the government, is now apparently tied to inflation. So that's what we're going to discuss in today's video. And I just want to remind you, if you'd like to stay up to date on the real estate market, well, please subscribe to the channel and go ahead and click the like button on this video to help me get it out to more people. It really, really helps. And I am not a property manager or a rental agent at all. I am a trading representative in British Columbia. That's what we're called. So if you need help in a purchase or a sale of your property and you are within the lower mainland of British Columbia, well, you can book a call with me right now using the link in the description below. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this article and particularly what has gone on. If I can get you there. There we are. Okay, so the maximum this year is 2.3%. The government is claiming that that 2.3% is calculated off of inflation. They haven't put that average here or how they came to that conclusion that it's 2.3%. A lot of people think it is higher than 2.3% if it's the trim inflation, if it's core inflation, whatever the numbers is. Apparently, it's 2.3%, and this is where we're going to be. Now, where were we previously? Well, last year it was 3% in 2025. The year before that, it was 3.5%. Now, back in 2023, 2024, well, 2023 was even lower. It was 2%. I don't know why it was okay to have a 2% rent increase when inflation was 8% or 11%, depending on who you talk to in 2023. But now we get 2% because we're going to tie it to inflation because inflation is low. I guess that's in the benefit of the tenants. We all know the NDP is in power, and the NDP definitely favors tenants over top of landlords. So apparently it is now tied to inflation. This gets to change no matter what happens each year. They just seemingly are making it up as they go along. Case in point, in 2020 and 2021, during the pandemic, there was a complete rate freeze all the way around. So as home prices were skyrocketing at that time because of ultra low interest rates, the tenants, well, they didn't get any rental increase at all because we had to protect them apparently. And now that landlords are the ones that are in trouble, having to literally sell their properties and kick the tenants out, we can't give the landlords any reprieve to try and keep some of those tenants in. Now, it's important to note, if you are a landlord out there, the reason this number comes out at this time of year is because, well, you need 3 months notice in order to put this into effect, and you can only actually increase your rent a maximum of 1 time on your tenant during a 12-month period. As a little bit of history for you, the NDP, well, they took power back in 2018, and before that, under the previous BC Liberal government, which is apparently our far-right party now, if you want to believe that. Anyway, that's another discussion. The rental increases at that time were 2% plus inflation, so it was not uncommon to have a 4% rental increase each and every year back then when stuff was more affordable. And that gets me to my next talking point about why rents are so bad or so high in rent-controlled areas. It's no joke, it's no coincidence that the best rents in the country are in non-rent controlled areas. It's because then the market can ebb and flow. If you don't need to increase rents this year because, well, rents haven't gone up or there's not more demand for your rental product, you don't do it. But if it does shoot up, like we saw rents shoot up because of mass immigration in 2021, 2022, if it does shoot up, you can increase. So there's no need to increase at the bad times of the economy like we are now. And then in rent-controlled places like we are here in BC, you are tempted as a landlord, and you probably should as a landlord, increase your rents every single year because you know you're only going to be allowed to increase next year. And you don't know if next year if rents are going to go up or if they're going to come down or stay the same. So the only way to stay ahead as a landlord in a rent-controlled province is to make sure you increase each year. And that's all well and good, but now let me tell you about the realities of the market if you are a landlord. And again, I'm not a property manager. I'm not a tenant. I am a landlord and I am a real estate agent. So I'm going to say this from the investor's point of view. Myself, this year, will I be increasing my rents on my tenants? The answer to that is no, I won't. I won't be increasing this year because rents are going down, but more importantly, because I have had those tenants in that property for a relatively short period of time. My tenants have only been in for, I'm going to call it a year to a year and a half each, so I already have them likely at what are peak rents. So if I increase their rents now, there's a higher likelihood that my good tenants that I found, which was very hard to do these days, by the way, that they are going to move on somewhere else. So no, as a total hypocrite right now, I'm not going to be increasing my rents this year. But if you are a landlord and you've been renting to, say, the same people since 2021 or prior, I'm going to encourage you, you probably need to increase your rentals this year to this 2.3% or this coming year. If you haven't already, you still have 3% from last year. You should probably increase. These people who have had long-term tenants, you need to increase each and every year because you never know when a 2021 or a 2022 or a 2015 or a 2016 is going to come around where rentals absolutely skyrocket. And then you're going to be further behind, particularly if things like 2023 happen where your interest rate shoots up so high that now you're negative cash flowing on the property. So it's very nuanced. You have to consider, what are my current rents? What are rents doing right now? What rent could I get for this apartment today, for this basement suite today? If I increase this rental, is that going to encourage my tenant to leave? Maybe you're a landlord, and because everything is really upside down right now for landlords in British Columbia, maybe you already know you're getting a very good rent and you want to keep increasing that rent in order to encourage your tenants to move along if they're not the best tenant, because you can't just get them out if they're a bad tenant in BC. So some people may take the strategy to encourage them along by increasing their rent. So as a rule of thumb, think twice before increasing your rent this year if you are a landlord. I really think there's a good chance that you're going to get lower rents if you do encourage the people to move along. But if you've had a long-term tenant, particularly more than 4 years, you probably should very much consider increasing their rent each and every year, because one time, eventually, one year, one of these years coming up, you're going to be behind again. There's just no avoiding it. That is the realities of investing and becoming a landlord in a rent cap marketplace like BC.